Well, hello, wonderful internet. Welcome back to Pwn TV. I just got done doing a 2-hour long live stream, and I'm very tired right now. And I wanted to make a YouTube submission with that information that was in the stream, but I wanted to keep it really short, and I didn't want to have you guys watch a 2-hour video of me doing calculations and jumping from character to character, because who wants to really see that, right? But I did want to have you guys keep me honest, so I did want to show some sort of proof that I did all of this. So what I plan on doing in this video is giving you a rough estimate of how much gil you stand to make using Chacharoon's little New Year's Eve trick that we're all doing this week. So I'll tell you how much gil you stand to make per character per day by doing this during the event. And so obviously as you add more characters and you start using Chacharoon every day on more characters, then you just basically make this much money per day every single day over and over again until the event's over. So unlimited gil income during the event, obviously, because you could just keep using characters to do the event every single day. So you're limited only to however many characters you have that can actually interact with Chacharoon and Rulude Gardens, right? But I want to keep this short, okay? So what I'm going to do is I'll tell you the number that you make per day, and then if you don't believe me, you can pause at any point in the following video that I'm going to end this video with, where I take the 2-hour live stream and I just speed through it. I speed up the recording and I just kind of go through the entire thing as fast as I can. You can just kind of pause and verify that, oh, he actually did log in all these characters, and he actually did move all this stuff, and it wasn't already in his inventory. He didn't stage any of this. It was all accurate. So all these items from every single day that I got, I delivery boxed them to myself, and I went in after I delivery boxed everything to Ponslot. I went into Ponslot and I opened the delivery box over and over again until I got all the items out, and then they're all sitting in my inventory, and they're still all in my inventory. So I'll just show you what I ended up getting in about 3 days. So I have all of this, all these spheres I got in 3 days just using my 9 mules that I have. Okay, and then I also got these rocks. Plutons over a stack, Bitetsus, and boulders. Okay, so that's what I ended up getting in only a few days worth of doing this. Obviously, with more characters, I'm gonna make more. Obviously, with more characters, I'm just gonna simply make more. But the amount of gil that I was able to make per character per day, after doing all the math, was about 360,000 gil per day per character. Okay, so that means, what I mean to say by that is, if you create a character that can interact with Chacharoon and Rulude Gardens during the event, the New Year's event that Chacharoon's currently doing, any one of your characters stands to make, on average, 360,000 gil after doing the Chacharoon mini quest, where you just talk to Chacharoon and pick up the 2 gifts for 20 gil each. Right? You end up making, on average, 367. It's actually 357, so just under 360,000 gil per day. But this is an average, so it's going to be more or less depending on your luck, right? Everything's a random number generator. You're not always going to get a stack of light spheres, even though in my video I did show you that I got a stack of light spheres on one of my Chacharoon's gifts that I actually opened. I think I also got a stack of fusion spheres and fragmentation spheres. But yeah, so that, and I did get 10 gravitation spheres one time, so that's why I don't have 12 here. The game gave me 10 instead of 12, but that's neither here nor there. The more you do this, the more numbers you're going to see, but on average, you're still getting about 360,000 gil per day per character during the event, right? So obviously, I made more mules to kind of capitalize on this, but obviously, if you watched my previous video, you can't actually use those mules immediately. You have to wait, so I'm just gonna have them available for the next time that this event comes through, and I'll just make even more money than I made this time. And if you're curious, with just my 9 characters over the last 3 days or so, I was able to make just under 10 million gil. This is all in my inventory currently. I calculated it. It's 9.7 million gil worth of stuff, give or take, because the price fluctuates a little bit in bazaars versus on auction house on some of these. So that, and stack prices are way different from like single prices. So like if you sell a single 12 different times, it's not going to be the same number as if you sell a stack on some of these higher quality synths, these higher quality spheres that you have here. So yeah, on average, 360,000 gil per character per day. Okay, which I'll prove if you pause the video, you know, when I play the video back. After I get done with this part, I'm going to clip the tail end of the video where I show you the final calculations, so you have that information, and then I'm just going to play the whole video, live stream the 2-hour thing, really fast, and maybe 20 minutes later it'll be over. But I won't end the video with anything else, so if you want to save some time and you don't want all that extra information, then you can stop watching after you're comfortable with what I told you. Like, you stop watching whenever you want on this video, and just know that according to my calculations, you stand to make 360,000 gil per character per day using Chacharoon's mini quest. Alright, now there's one other thing I'd like to mention before I let you go, before I give you the ability to watch all the other bullshit that I'm going to post here. And that is, I did not know this originally, and I did not put it in my first video on Chacharoon when I discovered that you could actually get these spheres in the first place. Because these spheres are relatively new, let's be honest, they weren't not around in the last Chacharoon event, last New Year's, okay, or whatever it was. But my point is, if you trade Chacharoon, the 10,000 gil, you get what's called a New Year's box, which you can trade to another account or another character or a friend of yours, maybe not even you. And the 10,000 gil goes into that New Year's box, that New Year's bag, I think that's what it's called. This 10,000 gil, fine. You could trade any number of gil to Chacharoon and get a third bag, or a fourth bag, or a fifth bag. Getting the New Year's bags, every time you trade him gil, he gives you a New Year's bag. But once per day, he also, in addition to giving you the New Year's bag, will give you a silver MN voucher, but only if you trade him 10,000 gil, or more, maybe, but I think it's just 10,000. It might be 10,000 or more. I don't know, I have not tested it, but I do know that it works when you trade him 10,000 gil, once per day per character, you get a silver MN voucher. And as you well know, if you get 6 of them, you get a Mars orb. And as you well know, a Mars orb is good enough to get you a Shamash robe or any other omen body, which is hundreds of millions of gil worth of loot right there, okay? So silver MN vouchers are not worthless in this game. So being able to get 1 per day, I wish I knew that 3 days ago, because I would have been doing a lot more of that as well as just getting these spheres done, okay? And these rocks done. Alright, but that's just not the information I had available at the time. So I'm sorry that we're coming towards the end of the campaign, the Chacharoon campaign, and you're just now hearing this, that you can trade 10,000 gil to Chacharoon and get a New Year's bag and also a silver Ammon voucher once per day. But yeah, you can do that. You can keep getting New Year's bags, but you only get the 1 Ammon voucher per day. So that's how that works, and that's just the other thing that I wanted to include in this video, like, so you have that as information for you to do, because this campaign ends tomorrow. So you could watch this video now. If you log in before Japanese midnight, which you still have 8 hours, 7.5 right now actually, then you could still do today's daily Chacharoon minigame, and you could still get the silver MN voucher today on all of your characters. You cannot delivery box them though, so they have to be on the character you plan on going in with, which I believe you need to be level 99 to actually enter with a Mars orb. So that's that. But just have that information. So I'm giving it to you as early as I possibly can, right? Because I did not know originally that people were doing this. But they are, and I learned, and now I know, and so now you know, and so please feel free to try it out. Trade him the 10,000 gil in town, Relude Gardens, above the Mog House, and then see about it and get yourself a silver voucher, and then log back in after Japanese midnight, do it all over again. So as it stands, if you're playing this game immediately after I upload this, you can play the minigame today and tomorrow and get a silver MN voucher on both characters, both days, however many characters you do it on, both days. And then also you get all that loot twice, because you can do it all on your characters, all of your mules right now, and then after Japanese midnight you can go in and do it all over again. As I said, what you see here in front of you is 80 out of 80 inventory, but not all of it is loot from Chacharoon, just some of it, right? But I'm capped on inventory, but I did manage to squeeze in just enough slots to get everything out of all of my mules, all of my other 8 characters that I was in doing this content with. And I was able to just consolidate it all into this inventory and fill this inventory up with this loot. And this is only 3 days worth of loot right here. So that's a good amount of stuff for 3 days. And as I said, if you have more characters, obviously you're going to get way more spheres, way more rocks if you do that. So that's what I wanted to give you guys in this video. A little bit of insight on what you stand to make, a little bit more evidence of the amount of gil potential that this event kind of has for you, because if you think about it, where else are you going to be able to just log in really quick on a mule and get millions of gil right away, like easy peasy? I'm telling you, that after testing, 360,000 gil per day per character for moments of your work is really cool. So that is why I encourage everyone to max out their mules in my last video. So the next time Chacharoon comes around, you can capitalize on this just as much as I did. Keep that in mind and keep an eye out for Chacharoon. Keep an ear to the ground for that rat. You see what I'm saying? So that's that. That's it for the video, pretty much. So if you want to stop watching now, I gave you all the new information that I had. And if you don't want to stop watching, what I'm going to do next is I'm going to play a small clip of the final result of the 3 days worth of me farming, proving the calculations, showing you that I actually got 360,000 gil per day. And then after that video, I'm going to just speed through the entire 2-hour live stream as fast as I can within 10 or 20 minutes and then end the video. So feel free to stop watching now if you believe me. If you don't believe me and you want to see more numbers, feel free to stop watching after the second video. And if you still don't believe me and you think I staged it, feel free to watch the live stream sped up, pausing wherever you want throughout those 2 hours, and it's going to be dropped down to maybe 10 or 15 minutes. So pause anywhere and you can confirm in any of those screenshots that this is all accurate. It's not staged. I didn't make this up, and it does work. So that's that. So we'll get into it then. I'll start the second video. Thanks for watching. And let's just use these numbers, because why not? So I'll take these numbers, these accurate numbers that I calculated, more or less accurate to what the current price tag on everything that I showed you is, and I'm going to divide that by 3. And that's going to tell me that every day doing this event, I made 3 million gil on 9 characters. So if I want to figure out how much gil I made on one character, then I divide by the total number of characters, which was 9. Okay? That would mean that every single day, on average, I'm making 360,000 gil by logging in and interacting with Chacharoon. You want to subtract from that the 2020 and also the other 2020, because that's how much you originally spent on getting those items. Let's just be fair, you do that, right? Every day you spend 40-40, which is 2 2020s, and you get that much gil. That's how much gil you get right there, which is still roughly the same, right? It's still almost 360,000 gil. So 360,000 gil per character per day ad infinitum. That's the amount of money that you stand to make in this game with Chacharoon during the New Year's week. So hopefully you guys watched my previous video and you really hammered it, and you got that content done, because it was moments of your time to get on average 360,000 gil per character per day. And let's say you want to make 100 million gil, you can use this number per character per day to figure out how many characters you need to do to get it done tomorrow, to get it done 3 days from now, 5 days from now, however many days you have. You can figure out how many characters you need to do it, and on average you're going to be right on the money. You're going to be correct with your calculations, because you get about that much per day per character. Okay, so that's information that I did not have when I started this video, so you're welcome. There it is. Sorry that we kind of rambled a little bit and talked about way more than what you cared to log in to see, but in my defense, I made the video to show you that you could make money. I showed you almost 10 million gil by doing this, and also I decided at the beginning of the video to save you guys a lot of time and throw the silver vouchers in your face as information that I did not provide in my previous video. So that's there as well. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to snip this tail end off, and I'm also going to tack it on at the beginning of the video. So you've probably already seen it if you're watching the video, right? And that's going to just save you guys a lot of time as well. So however long this video ends up being, just know that you watched this little part at the beginning and the end, and everything in the middle was just calculations and me going from account to account to account to account, just getting all of the items, delivering them to my main account, and then actually going into my main account, going from delivery box to delivery box to delivery box to delivery box, getting every item, going into my inventory, sorting it, moving items out of my inventory, putting them on my sent and delivered box to get them out of my inventory because I can deliver things to myself. So I have an inventory of 8 slots on the delivery box for myself. So I sent 8 items to myself to make 8 more slots, and we did this again and again and again until I had all the items collected on my main account after 3 days of work. 3 days of work, and I was able to make this much per character. That was my calculation. This much per character per day. Okay? And I've only been testing for the last 3 days on this. Maybe 4 by now, but something like that. Okay. So there are your numbers. And if you're watching this video at the beginning and you're seeing this little clip rather than the end of the video, then because I said I'm going to clip it at the beginning as well, then you're probably going to watch just this part and notice that there's money to be made, and then be curious about the next however many minutes of the video it ends up being. And I just told you that it's going to be long, and I'm tired, so I made a lot of mistakes, and I did not edit because I'm very tired and very busy tomorrow. So feel free to stop watching now if you're watching this at the beginning and I clipped it. If you want to watch the entire thing, knock yourself out. I think I had fun, so maybe you learned something. But do yourself a favor as well. If you want to stop watching the video at the beginning and you see this number, 357,000, and you're like, oh, that's all the information I needed, just note that depending on how I ended up clipping this, I also want to add to that information with the silver vouchers. Don't forget the silver vouchers. If you stop watching the video before I get to the silver vouchers, you're not going to know about that trick. So the trick there is simply go up to Chacharoon and trade him 10,000 gil and you get silver vouchers. Okay, so there you have it. So the rest of the video is going to be calculations if you're watching this little segment at the beginning, and if you're watching it at the end, then you're probably raging right now because you're like, why is he drawing this out? So I'm going to end it here, unless this is the beginning. Peace out, guys. So there you have it. That is part 1 and part 2 of a 3-part video that I came up with to kind of show you the end result of Chacharoon. And for the rest of this video, I'm just going to kind of go through all my mules really fast and show you that I did all the work and I didn't just make it up. I didn't just throw stuff in my inventory or anything silly like that. It was all kind of there to begin with. So that's what we do here. We just go from account to account, character to character, and we move everything around until we get it all on Poncelat. And I'm already 15 minutes into that recording, so we're making pretty good time. Just doing the daily Chacharoons today as well, getting those on camera. Using those gifts, logging in the other guys, delivering everything, making some new characters, because why not? Fill up those character slots. Do the intro video while I'm logging in my main account. Talk about my main characters a little bit. Talk about the history between a couple of them, how I changed their name a few times, and move servers around, etc. Fun, fun, fun. All sorts of characters. But look at this. I'm logging in and out characters really quick. I'm getting into a groove here where we just do it. We just get the characters in and out, do the dailies, throw everything on the delivery box to Poncelat, and then we end up with a full delivery box for Poncelat here in a moment. A really big delivery box for Poncelat. And now we have to sort our inventory and fit in everything for Poncelat. And of course I get distracted because, you know, there's a squirrel or something. So eventually we sort our inventory to the point where we can actually fit everything in. I go to the Mog Garden for a little bit to use some of our Pluton boxes or Batetsu, whatever the hell boxes I ended up getting, because you can't use like a Pluton case in your Mog house, but you can in your Mog Garden. So that's why I went out here. Talked a little bit about my pets a little bit more. the cheer effects that I just got off them. Then we start pulling up some FFXIAH.com information, start getting some prices on all this stuff, and start cracking away on a calculator to come up with a number. So, and in chat, I'm just kind of describing how I'm doing really quick rounding calculations on these numbers. I'll round up the numbers and then round them back down or whatever I need to do to kind of get, like, for example, if I had 40 of one item and it was a 5K item, then I know that if it was a 10K item, it would be 400,000 because 40 times 10. But I could just take half of that to get to 5K, so it would be a 200K item. So just like really simple tricks that I know how to move between numbers really quick and accurately. Even when I'm super duper tired, especially if I type it out and I can read it, then I don't make any mistakes that way. If I'm just talking though, I'll probably make some mistakes. So you see me typing in the chat with the accurate numbers and all that. So, and then we got to the end. So that was 2 hours worth of work right there. And then we end up with this last segment right here that I talked about. And that's the rest of the video. Let me actually slow it down a little bit. Actually, it already ended. So yeah, so that was the whole thing. Oh, it is really fast, isn't it? How do I get it to the speed? So you probably can't. Yeah, I don't need to know anymore. But anyway, you already saw this part. This is the tail end that I actually said that I would attach to the beginning, and so that was the case. That was basically just all the steps I went through to get it all done, and we got it all done. And I moved a lot of stuff to Ponzalot, and I ended up making an extra almost 10 million gil, 9.7 million gil, in just a few days with the amount of characters I used. But of course, everyone else is going to be doing it over a different number of days with a different number of characters. Like I said at the beginning, you basically keep adding 360,000 gil to your character, whatever main character you have. As you add more and more mules, you make more and more stacks of 360,000 gil every single day until the end of the event. So even if you're saying, oh, well, the event's only 7 days, so eventually you can't do it, that's true. But if you had infinite characters, then you could spend all day today and tomorrow, because the event ends tomorrow, not today. You could spend all of these next 48 hours, whatever it is, using the logging in each of the accounts, doing 2 seconds worth of work at Chacharoon, getting some more loot, moving it onto your main, spend some time on your main, get all the delivery boxes sorted out, put it all in your inventory, and then start selling it. Or stash it on the NPC, because you can stash all of these spheres on NPCs, and then you can come back and pick them up later and then sell them later. So if you don't have the inventory space for all the loot, for all your infinite mules that you made, then you could still stash them all, eventually all of them, on the NPC and then have infinite gil. Like I said in the original video, that this was insane how much gil potential you had to make. You're logging in and making 360,000 gil immediately. That's wild. That's insane. And you can do that as many times as you want, as many times as you have characters for. You can do that, okay? Because that is a fact. All right, and I just showed you here with just the 9 characters. Okay, so that's it for the video. I'm done. I'm tired. I have a busy day tomorrow, so I'm going to end it here. Thanks for watching. Remember to check out Chacharoon. Remember to do the mini quest with him, interact with him, spend the 2020 gil on his gift, Chacharoon's gift, spend the other 2020 gil on Susaroon's gift, even though the game tells you you can't do both in one day, you actually can. Just do it. Just click on the options and you'll get both of them. And then when you're done with all that, don't forget, you can still always trade him 10,000 gil, and you can get a New Year's bag to give to a friend, which is just going to give him the 10,000 gil. But also, because you spent 10,000 gil or more, I think it's 10,000 or more, but 10,000 works. You also get the silver MN voucher from Chacharoon when you do this. So you could eventually stack up on silver MN vouchers, grab yourself a Mars orb or a Venus orb, and then run through and get an Omen body and MN trove on a level 99 character. Just note that you can't move the silver vouchers between accounts like you can with the spheres and the rocks. And that's it. That's it for the video. I can't keep going because, again, it's getting way longer than I wanted it to be. But here's your proof that it works and that I was accurate with my statement saying that you could make unlimited gil doing this trick. So thanks again for watching it, all 3 sections of it if you did, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Have a wonderful rest of your day.